In this episode, I answer a question from a massage therapist in Virginia who holds a certification in medical massage and is trying to determine if working and accepting insurance in their practice is a good idea and a way to attract more clients. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution podcast, where we teach overworked manual therapists a new injury treatment system that eliminates the frustrations of not getting consistent results, allowing them to cut their treatment times by at least 50% and easily double their income. If you're new to the show and you have no idea as to who I am, my name is Dr. 𝐌𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐚, and I got my degree in chiropractic well over 14 years ago, but have never performed an adjustment in practice and focused my treatments solely on doing quality soft tissue-based work. So essentially, you can say I'm an anti-chiropractic chiropractor, and I believe that the best and safest treatments in the world to help fix injuries and help people get out of pain are soft tissue treatments delivered by world-class manual therapists. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the show. All right, so this week's question came from Lola, who is a massage therapist in Virginia for 7 years and also has her certification in medical massage. She said, I got my full medical massage certification a few months back and looking into getting myself in network with some insurance companies so that I can attract more clients looking to use their insurance. They covered some of the ins and outs of getting all that set up in the training, but it seems like a lot of hoops to jump through to get everything set up. Before I go through the full process, I wanted to ask if it's even a good idea to work with and take insurance in my practice. Thanks for sending that question in, Lola. And just a quick reminder, if you do have any questions that you want me to cover specifically on the podcast, feel free to send it in. All the information to do that is in the show notes or wherever you're consuming this. But let's just get started and jump right into it. First off, just my thoughts on the medical massage certification. I tend to be very anti-certifications with anything. I think a lot of times we as providers use it as like a security blanket. We're like, well, I'm certified in this or I'm that. At the end of the day, the client really doesn't care what you do or how you do it. They just care that you can do it. And a lot of times people are paying a lot of money for certain types of certifications with the hopes of thinking it's going to help them attract more clients, make more money, do a lot of different things. I covered this in a few podcasts back before where I go more in depth, but at the end of the day, you really want to look like, when you're looking at a certification, you're like, is it going to help me do it better? Is it going to help me do it faster? One of those two things. If it does, then it truly is valuable, but people aren't like specifically searching you out just because you are a medical massage therapist, unless they're actually looking to use insurance. And that's what I'm going to cover in this episode. So quick story for me, when I first started off in practice, I was working for someone and we took insurance. We were like an auto injury clinic. And then we also did like a lot of soft tissue work on the side as well. But I remember one day my boss was like, hey, you got to talk to the attorney. He's kind of pissed at you. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I hop on the phone with the attorney and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, your notes are saying this client is getting better. They're getting better too quick. You're not seeing them enough. It's going to hurt the case. And I was like, what the hell? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? They're like, no, you got to play the game. If you don't want to play the game, then you shouldn't do that. And then I just found myself like always filling out all these forms and having them get denied and doing it again and again. And I spent more of my time and more of my day filling out paperwork than actually seeing the clients and helping them. And then when I was actually helping them and getting them better, I was getting yelled at for doing it too efficiently and helping them. I go on all day about how broken the insurance model is across the board, but I'll save that for another podcast. So what I basically did was I decided I couldn't work for anyone. I am basically unemployable because I run my mouth too much. I think outside the box and I can't work for anyone. So after about a year of that, I went and opened my own practice and I made the commitment that I was never going to work with insurance or take insurance. And honestly, it was the best thing I ever did. It was hard at first because a lot of people reached out and they're like, oh, do you take my insurance? And I'd be like, no, I didn't. But it really helped me become like more persuasive, more influential in what I did, and really made me focus on like dialing in on getting results done. So that's where I really started focusing on the idea of like, can I do this better and faster where it doesn't matter what the insurance does or what it covers because the client just wants to get better. And that's a lot of what I try to teach and preach on the podcast and other providers is like, find out a way to do it better and faster. And it doesn't matter what you charge or if you take insurance or if you don't. So the way I want to look at it for this episode is first, let's look at it like the insurance from the client's perspective. Number one is the client is really only deciding solely on the cost and not the actual value and the results. They're like, oh, I need massage for my injury. Oh, this person's in my network. I'm going to go there. They don't really research if like they can specifically fix your problem. If they have tools that they're just like, oh, they're in my network and I'm going to take them and they're the cheapest, so I'm going to go there. Next is the client really isn't fully committed to seeing it through. Usually they bail like as soon as they don't have any more visits left. They're like, oh, I'm out of visits. Okay, feeling a little bit better. I'm not going to see this through. My insurance doesn't cover it anymore. I'm done. Next is they don't take it as serious because they're not directly paying for it. When you're not directly paying for it, you're not as invested in it. And lastly is they feel really entitled to the best quality of care. This has happened a lot with the insurance model over the years, is this entitlement has built in where clients and patients automatically think that since they have insurance that they're going to get access to the best care. And honestly, a lot of times these doctors that are on these insurance plans and these other providers, massage therapists across the board, they're not very good because there's no incentive for them to actually be good. They're just getting paid for doing whatever they do. So they're not investing in like getting better at their skill set and doing it faster and better. They're just trying to check some boxes off and try to get as many visits as possible so they can make as much. The system is totally wrecked. Now, what about from the provider's perspective? Number one, and I think this is crazy, is you really have no actual control about what you can do or how you can treat. And you don't get control of how much you get paid or what the client needs treatment-wise. And also, you're always going to be wondering, like, when am I going to get paid? And you're stuck doing never-ending paperwork and bullshit and all sorts of nonsense. And the problem with insurance and being in network with insurance is, say you bill $150 for that, they might come back and be like, we're only going to pay you $60. And you know what? If you don't like it, then screw off. And you're not in control of your practice. They're in control of your practice. And I don't want anyone being in control of what I do, what I make, or what I deliver to my clients except for me. So final verdict on all this is completely avoid it. I would completely avoid it. I know it sounds good on paper and it sounds exciting. I see people all the time, especially on LinkedIn. They're like, oh, the VA is finally paying for massage insurance companies. I'm like, no, they're not. You're going to get like 4 or 5 visits approved. It's going to be a pain in the ass. The clients are going to be a pain. It's not going to be good for anybody. And once you get into it, everything is really just a big headache. Now, there are 2 situations where I might consider using insurance and going into insurance. One would be if you've been in practice for a very long time and you're more like entrepreneurial in your views and what you do, and you have multiple providers working underneath you, that can help. You can get them busy. You know, a lot of times those providers that are working underneath you, they don't really have any, they have drive, but they don't want to like deal with the headaches of business and marketing and all that. So it's a good way to get them busy, and then you can hire and outsource some of the billing and stuff like that. And it's a way to keep them busy and attract some clients. The other one would be possibly if you're completely starting out fresh, maybe you're fresh out of school or you're just starting your own practice on your own. You just need to start making money and getting your hands on people. That might be a good way to start, but don't get yourself locked into it for too long. Maybe commit to like 6 months or a year just to get some reps under your belt and get some consistent cash flow as you do that. But don't be that person that gets that reputation in your area as the one that takes insurance, because insurance can do whatever they want. They can decide one day that they're going to pay you even less. They could decide that they're just not going to cover it at all. And if your whole practice and the whole reputation in your area is built solely off you're like an insurance provider, you could lose it all. Don't ever let anyone else control your practice or your business. You need to be in control and focus more on the quality of what you do, deliver it better and faster than anyone else. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is the only way to really help you stand out from everyone else out there. So I digress. I think that's all I got. Appreciate the questions. You know, as I said before, if you have any questions you want me to cover, send them in. If I think I can help, I will make a video. But as I close every podcast out with, go out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your amazing treatments so they can stay the hell away from the traditional medical model of pain pills, injections, and surgeries that only make things worse and definitely ruin people's lives. Appreciate you watching or listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.